If you've ever looked at a long Excel formula and thought, what on earth is this alphabet soup? You are not alone. Functions are the language of Excel, and now AI can speak that language, but you still need to understand that grammar. Because if you don't, you'll trust Copilot blindly, and that's generally how broken spreadsheets will happen. Today, I'll break down the anatomy of an Excel function, how to sanity check anything that AI might write for you, and the red flags for things that even Copilot can miss when writing formulas. So let's dive in. We're entering a new era. Excel now literally understands plain English commands. But there is a catch. AI, like Copilot, doesn't understand your spreadsheet. It just predicts the most likely formula. So if you don't understand what a function is meant to do, you'll nod along happily while it might actually be doing the wrong thing in the background. That's why knowing the structure of a function isn't old school, it's essential. Let's decode what's really happening inside every formula, what I call the anatomy of a function. First up, you've got the function name, those shouty capitals telling Excel what to do, like sum, XLOOKUP, or if. Next, you have the parentheses, aka the round brackets. Think of them as the container holding all your instructions. Inside that, you've got your arguments. Think of these as the inputs or ingredients that you feed to Excel to make the function work. Now, to separate those ingredients, you use commas. It's Excel's way of saying, next item, please. And then when you mix all of those together, you get your output. It's usually a number, maybe a piece of text, maybe a true or false response, or if something's off, an error. Once you see the structure, formulas start to look less scary. It's not code, it's just a recipe. And understanding that recipe is exactly what helps you spot when AI has missed an ingredient. Let's take something simple. Here's a sales table. I've got products in column A and sales in column B. Now, I want to flag anything over 100 as yes and anything below 100 as no. If I do this myself in cell C2, I'd write this formula, B2 greater than 100, and then yes or no. Here's what's happening in that one formula. The function name is if. Inside the brackets, we've got three inputs. The test, B2 greater than 100, what to return if that's true, yes, and what to return if it fails, no. And the output is just going to be the word yes or no for that row. So far, it's all good. Now, I'm going to ask Copilot to do the same thing. I'll just type the prompt, write a formula that checks if the sales for this row are above 100 and return yes or no. Copilot gives me back something seemingly sensible. At first glance, it looks fine. It's the right structure, commas, quotes, it's all there. But here's the problem. It's checking column D, which in our case is empty. That means that the test will always fail and every result will be no, even when sales is actually 120 or 200. So the formula is technically valid, but logically wrong. And that's exactly why understanding the anatomy of a function matters, because Copilot can build it very fast, but it's on you to check if it's actually right. Here's a quick checklist to make sure every formula, AI written or not, actually works the way you want it to. Every time you or Copilot write a function or formula, do these 3 quick checks. First, check your inputs. Are the cell references correct? If you meant A2 to A10 but got A3 to A9, the whole calculation could be wrong and shifts. Secondly, check your input order. Excel is pretty strict on this. If you swap what should be the lookup value with what is the return array in an XLOOKUP, you'll just end up with errors. And finally, check your output. If you expected a number but see true or an error, then you know that something's off. Over time, add your own commonly occurring mistakes to this checklist, and it will become your formula safety net. Let's talk about a few classic formula mistakes, some that Copilot might even make. First up, missing parentheses. It's like forgetting to close a recipe. Everything looks fine until Excel just gives up and throws an error. Next, using the wrong separators, commas versus semicolons. Depending on your region, Excel can be quite picky. It's basically saying, I don't really speak that dialect. Then there's mixing data types, trying to add text and numbers together. Yeah, Excel's not going to do that maths for you. And finally, optional inputs are being misused. For example, if you write an if function without the value if false, Excel's kind of just left hanging, wondering what to do next. These errors are tiny, but sometimes could be costly. So while Copilot might write them with confidence, you still need to be able to read what it gives you. A good way to think of this is that functions are the grammar of Excel, and Copilot can now write in full sentences. When you understand how a function works, you don't just follow what Copilot gives you. You can challenge it, correct it, and then trust your output. And that's the goal, not to be replaced by AI, but to work alongside it with clarity and confidence. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, I'm building a whole series on Excel and AI, so hit subscribe and don't miss the next one.